And we are live once again with which show am I doing this week? Trick Roll. I pay attention to what I'm doing. I am a consonant professional. I don't even know if I said those words right. Everyone just introduce yourselves while I take a sip. It's not alcoholic. I just need a drink.
That's no
that doesn't look like Ma Energy Drink. That doesn't look like the sponsor of our show.
Yes, that's this one, and I had to drink that before, but we'll do that after introductions.
Yeah, yes, that's not alcoholic, and this is a regular cigarette.
Dude, don't get me kicked
moving
off
on
Twitch.
from
Don't get me kicked off Twitch. Don't bring up don't bring up anything. Hi, I'm Andy. Apparently, I'm the only one who remembers that we're supposed to be doing something. I know Jesse remembers, but he's trying to avoid it. I'm Andy. I'm supposed to be running this, but instead, everyone's just running around doing whatever they want. Over to this side, we have Arshis, who is now going to be able to join us on a pretty regular basis. On the other side, we have Small Child and his child.
Yeah, this is I'm Kyle. I go by Flint online, and this little guy is refusing to go to sleep right now, hence why he's with me. So I play Joseph Lucerdo. You can also catch me doing the other Sunday game that Andy is ill prepared for most of the time, but still manages to do quite well with.
And below me, I'm getting really good at pointing at all these icons. We have Shivlock, who is playing our Turtle Cleric.
Oh yeah.
And
a little
then
bit of chaos.
And then finally, we have Jesse Crump, Crumpler 64.
Thank you for that introduction. And again, I am Jesse Crump, also known as Crump 64 on all reaches of the internet, and I'm continuing my reign as King Giles of Tor, Ravenite Dragonborn fighter.
Let's see how long you can continue that reign, O King. Because
I'm to the point where just like, I've woken up today. My royal assassin is getting sloppy.
Thank you. I've been wanting to make that joke for a long time. Yes. As far as sponsors go, you will, if you're on Twitch right now, and if you're watching this on YouTube later, we still have links in the description. There are ways you can support us. And trust me, I do put all that back into the show. You can buy us trick rolls, which are 1d4 modifiers that go to whoever. Please give them to me. I need them. You can buy Ma Energy. Lots of flavors. Just $7 to get your first, for shipping, just to get your first bottle, your first jar. We have Humble Bundle, where I buy all the video games that I sometimes play on here. And I'm fixing to start up just playing the cheap games because they can be so much fun. And anyway, yes. And also there is a Patreon. I am going to try and get better in the next season about promoting all this because I want to pay these people for what they do to me. That sounds wrong. It's like rewarding them.
Yeah, I was like, I don't. Yeah, sure, that sounds good.
Anyway, quick recap. Last session, you went to the main base of the Knights of Shelter. After infiltrating it, most successfully, might I add, by King Giles, who was able to completely hide his appearance. You all rushed in, started a fist fight with some people before sneaking into the bottom layer where you found that their grandmaster had died some time ago while contemplating some deep philosophical beliefs and turned into a gray phantom, which meant that he was ever locked in that thought while harmful, malicious spirits floated around him. You managed to only kill that gray phantom, if killing is the right word, but you then escaped without actually taking any other human life and ran away, occasionally being followed by singing mushrooms because those are just sprouting up for some reason. And that was a little while ago. We've done a couple of things in downtime, and I will just summarize the one that I did with Joseph. And anybody else wants to bring theirs up? Joseph had a sit down with a mysterious noble family, and it was a lovely lunch. And then he spoke to their solicitor when they walked away, who wanted to know more about how King Giles could apparently steal the souls of people. And when they brought up the concept of stealing a specific person's soul, the person was never named, Joseph responded with, I'm quite happy with the progress we are making in my small kingdom right now, and we are happy to continue the information growing, in which case he was summarily told to fuck off, because he is clearly just some commoner who found a rundown fort and is now boasting titles he does not earn. I know that Vivi has been doing some research, but the mysterious towers that are appearing, other than having some, I'd say enough information to start mapping where they are, there's nobody really seems to know anything about them because they don't seem to do anything. There's no entrances, no windows, and only a fool goes up and starts hitting things just to see what they do. Mostly because they've all heard the story of someone who did that and then got turned into small animals by crazy wizards.
Giles,
Yeah.
let's do something for science.
All right, I'll get the science stick.
Giles,
Right.
what is the science stick?
So there is a partially there is basically it was a tree trunk, but it basically has been reduced down to basically about the size of it's almost to the size of a long sword of just a burnt tree that he has taken up. That it will not be for some reason it is not reduced to ash, but it is where it's come by like a novelty thing. So before it just used to just poke around things in the fire, but once they realize this thing won't burn, they've now used it for this test of what is real fire or poking things that should not be poked.
I
Yes,
like
it. Is
it.
the stick. We call it the stick of unusual clubbing success.
Or as Giles says, science stick.
Hmm.
He will never
Or
call
people-
it by its true name.
I like science stick. It defies
Or-
all science, but still is the science stick.
Or as
Well,
people who
and-
get hit
and
by it in testing for science, they go, "It sucks."
Makes sense.
And we could easily get it identified, but we refuse.
Do you want to get it identified?
No,
Like,
with player knowledge, no, I don't care if we get identified. It's funnier with the idiot not knowing what he possesses.
that makes sense.
It's sort of like in the comics Goblin, where one of the characters has what has become the most powerful sword in existence, only because he's too stupid to realize just how powerful it is. So they
Makes sense.
outright said, actually, as long as he doesn't know what it actually is, he's the only one who could properly wield it.
That makes sense.
So
Well, anyway, guys, somehow I stumbled on some information that might be interesting.
All right.
Not naming names or faces. There have the wizard that lives here.
What did you do?
I did nothing. I just happened to stumble across some information that he had blueprints that looked like the towers.
You broke into his room, didn't you?
You
No.
broke in there. Did you kick the door down?
I don't know how they got in there. I just happened to find this information.
The fact that you know, You're a very bad thief. The fact that you said in his room means that you've either been one snooping around it, where one of the things that he's very, very, very strict about is his privacy, or you've been inside of it.
I've said I'm not a thief.
You're right on that because you're a very bad one.
Checks out. I think you stumbled on the information.
You're saying this immediately after he has reiterated to us the fact that people should not enter his room, which to me says, reading between the lines, somebody got into my room. And now you come forward with this information, stating that is directly inside, stating that that this is information is directly inside of his room. Stay out of our seneschal's room from now on. Next time. No. This is not even a warning. Don't even try to sidestep this. Don't go into his room again. Now, this is good information, but at the same time, I think we could have actually just asked him. But you go ahead.
Oh, coming from the assassin guy. Oh, just ask questions. Okay.
Who have you assassinated, really, lately? Takes the dodge direction.
And this would be a good time to point out that Giles also has done something with his downtime. I don't know if you actually want to say what that is, King Giles, but I will say you need to make your daily wisdom save.
Oh, let's see how well this goes. I'm on. All right, we got 11.
11. Okay, that's not bad. Now, being middle of the road, I'll let you decide. Do you want the thing you wish for to start happening, or do you want it to be just a normal chaotic day?
Let's go with normal chaotic.
Okay. Giles, everywhere around you for like 10 feet, it's just raining chocolate chips.
Actually, randomly normal. Sad. That's sad. I can say that.
I think that's just normally you just think, okay, it's just another candy occurrence. But I imagine in his eyes, he sees the chocolate chips purely land on people, but no one reacts. So like he has conversations with Withers, with Joseph, and it's just like he'll just see the candy chips just roll down Joseph in their face, and he wants to point it out. He's just like, in case they see it too. But is that moment of he'll just do that number where just he wants to say something, but he'll just continue the conversation and to continue on. And ever so often, that you guys will see him look like he's walking over a pile, but to you it's invisible. So to him he sees a pile of chocolate chips, so he's trying not to step on them. So you think he's trying to avoid it's like dog poo that's not there.
Oh.
Maybe looks around. Is there anyone there other than the group?
I'm trying to think. You what room are you all in for starters?
I think we'll be in the breakfast in the dining hall.
The place of food consumption.
Okay.
Yes.
So occasionally
my bedroom.
A smoke method comes in with King Giles' breakfast.
Right.
Which Giles, what did you order today?
Well, it depends. Do we have meat on the menu, or we're still in that craze of there's no meat around?
Let's see. Has Binbag been eating all your meat?
We named the cat Binbag?
No, that was the wizard from the guild of wise mages who never fully left. He's been couch surfing, eating all your food.
She needs to speak to Binbag.
But Giles, you do have meat. Just don't ask where it came from.
Yeah, because I imagine he'll order the steak, and boy, howdy, does he get a steak?
Yes.
Which may be which may be 3 different meats that were molded into looking like a steak.
Yeah, this is totally compressed into steak.
Yeah.
Since there's no one really around, and he's actually starting to feel comfortable around these people, Vivi takes off his hood and removes his mask, puts it down to side so he can eat his breakfast.
And suddenly
Just
everyone
hands
else
him over
loses
a
their
plate of-
appetite.
Yeah, just hands him over a plate of pancakes and then just starts eating the cinnamon rolls.
Thank you.
Janlos is just eating some fruit.
And since you've never seen him without his hood on, again, basically, still most of half his hair is a straight black blonde, and half his hair is gone.
Look down at my chest to go, Ashley, do you like apples or do you like cinnamon rolls?
I like the souls of the innocent.
Oh, shit.
Yes.
Jeez.
But right now, that's not on the menu because that's not on the table. We have apples, cinnamon rolls, and then we've got like this baked apple cobbler breakfast thingy.
You can just go out and sacrifice a few people.
Those are
I
called
have-
citizens. We don't sacrifice them.
Like-
No, I said people.
Wow, you're making a
Officers-
distinction now. You're learning.
Yeah,
You
offers
haven't
actually-
learned?
Yeah, offers rations. Well, whenever I eat these, I feel dead inside, so that might help.
I can almost picture it, and this is not a key information to give Andy. I'm just hypothetical here. I would not be surprised if there's just a well of souls somewhere in this town that people just treat it as like a landmark.
No,
You have done surprisingly little research into your land.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's not a well. It's a train.
All I'm
I
going to
would-
say is there are things I have written down. Some of them might be similar to what you're saying now. It might be inspired by
No,
what
wait,
you're saying.
wait. We actually have a soul train.
I didn't say that.
The way I see it, spontaneous train tracks are up to the land, and it's like we must find the true origin of this. And Joseph and Giles are just on the hand crank carts, just going across the land. Anyway, so
You're like looking at Ashley. They're okay. They're not normal people because they live here and they keep showing up even after they die. So that was kind of a given. But you're actually making a distinction between them being citizens and other people. Is more of my thing. Unless there's something that you want to tell me about them that is beyond that information.
If you haven't figured it out by now, I'm not sure telling you is really going to make a difference. You're just willfully ignorant at this stage.
No, it's just that they're citizens and they're people. And
No.
well, in that regard, they're either undead or they're something quite a bit more exotic than that. And to be fair, I just want to know them, not what they are, but them as individuals.
You really are just willfully ignorant.
No, it's a difference between, poking at information that will get you killed and getting to know them to such an extent to where they don't want to eat you.
I need you alive, but at the same time, I don't need your brain.
Oh, that's
Yeah, well, barring anything else, you're sadly going to have to deal with me for quite some time.
And he goes quiet.
I know what
You're-
you're contemplating, but realize this, I will come back from the other side and I will track you down and destroy you from whatever dimension you originally hail from.
Oh, Joseph, I wouldn't mind a word with you after breakfast. I got some information you might find useful.
Motion to the rest of the group. If you think that I find it useful, then we all might.
It's more
So-
directed towards you individually.
Okay.
I've had some people poking around for information about you. And through some research, I came up with a name of the people that I have been asking.
And those names are?
Have you heard of the Bloodthorn family?
That's who I met with recently, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yes, yes, I have. What exactly have they been wanting to know about me?
Just general information. Like they more the better.
Well,
I think they were also asking about Dryliff as well, but they seem to pay interest in you.
oh, that's very interesting that they would pay so much attention to a peasant. But okay, if they wish to speak, if they wish to speak again, I shall let them know.
And this is feeling a little weird. I usually charge for information. I think, but I'll keep my ears to the ground.
Thank you.
I think helping you guys out would benefit me more in the long run than the other way around.
Well, I mean, yeah, lodgings, food, the ability to actually call forth the ability to actually speak with things from another side of the dimension without it immediately eating you is kind of cool.
Yeah, like as much as it was fun being in a different dimension, I'd rather not go back there.
Right. So what's on our agenda for today besides trying to figure out what these powers are and generally I look at Janlos and I go, actually, you've been unusually quiet today.
I'm contemplating life.
I'm staring at the turtle soup. That's BB's eating.
I'm just chilling, bro. I'm thinking. Janlos is having reminiscing about the mushroom song, and it's just kind of nodding along, eating fruit.
What have you got going on in your head?
Well,
Many
Janlos
things.
is a very passive person, and he's probably like quote unquote killed quite a few people since he's been with the group. So he's kind of like, what, he's just having one of those moments of, oh wow, we're actually killing things. Like,
does VV see that you're on edge?
oh no, it's not really on edge. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, so this is a thing. People do kill people.
VV walks up to him, puts his hand on his shoulders, just pat, 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 walks back to eat his thing. Not sure if that staring at the atrocity that is half of VV's face is calming, but the other half is actually quite handsome.
So what is next for us?
Saying things and stuff.
Just imagine the image of a small boy in a cowboy hat with missing one eye while his father's in the background going things and stuff. I'll walk over to Janlos and give him a hug and then just look at Jylith and go, so what's the orders for today, my liege?
Let me check the schedule. Let's see. Checking with the parameters of the paperwork, make sure the place is secure before next journey. Give a speech to the townsfolk for them to continue to praise me.
Hand the crown over to VV.
I don't see that on my schedule.
It should be there. Like,
and the what over to VV?
Nothing.
All right,
No.
it seems like we have conflicting schedules. So what is the true day journey of the day?
I believe we should good question. Like I've got some information together, but also like, the towers are they're not doing anything, but at the same time they are oddity. So maybe trying to figure out that I could speak to Ben Bag and see if we can wrangle passage to the towers.
Actually, it's actually time for Benbag to make do on actually giving more stuff as quests or getting the heck out of the house. I mean, it's one thing for a wizard to be in the court, but a wizard has to do something. He just kind of sits here and eats stuff, and he's supposed to be one of these wizards that gives out, useful things to do.
Very well, and listen.
He's walking by eating Cheetos. Only when orders come from the Guild of Wise Mages.
Oh,
And just leaves.
Benbag?
I'm still on vacation.
I believe I got a message from the Council of White Mages as gathering information.
Good for you. He just walks on.
Damn, can't get back here, Benbag.
No. Door slams.
Damn it.
There's chocolate chip pancakes.
No, there's not, and I eat them.
I'm allergic to chocolate.
I have Cheetos.
I have Cheetos.
I have a bigger bag of Cheetos.
We have carob.
I don't know what that is.
That is actually a chocolate substitute.
we have licorice.
Wait, no one's licorice.
He might.
I just imagine the moment Joseph said there's chocolate chip pancakes, Jarlath's eyes get visually wide for a moment. He has a brief moment of does Joseph see him too?
No. And then Vivi looks down at Jarlath and says, "We also have a steak."
Yeah, because imagine it's like whatever sides that Jarlath has, you see him visually look like he's moving stuff to the side, but there's nothing there.
Oh well. After finishing his pancakes, he puts his mask back on, puts his hood back up. So I needed that. I think this mask can get sweaty.
Actually, I do have one quick question, DM. Because Jarlath has given me an official title, do I see the chocolate chips?
Make a wisdom save.
Just is like super excited about it. Yeah.
Well, because there's that moment, it's either going to be like he sees him too, or just a very happy coincidence.
6.
Got a 6.
Now that you think about it, you do see him piling up chocolate chips. And
I'm just gonna grab a plate with the cinnamon rolls and just wave it right around Jarlath for just a few seconds, and then put it on the table.
it's just 10 feet around him. They just keep falling, and everywhere he's been, there's just a trail of them.
This is normal.
This
is normal.
Like I say, if we didn't have a candy-filled episode, this would be a more bizarre occurrence.
Anyway, what do we do?
No, this is the thing. Over the course of our living here, we have had Jarlath chasing after invisible unicorns. We have had candy creatures. We have had actual changing of the castle. Me just seeing him actually having chocolate chips falling from clouds, which I think are probably going to be white chocolate fondue clouds hovering above him.
With your 6, though, you now see that above Gila's chair is the mounted head of a unicorn.
I have to ask, is this head visual to Jarlath or something that Joseph can only see?
Oh no, you remember giving it to Withers.
Oh, that's right.
And that's where he asked you, do you want this to be a trophy?
That's right. I didn't specify a location. I just thought he was gonna mount it on the wall somewhere. I did not.
Oh, yeah, he mounted it above your seat in the kitchen.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
Or maybe it just floats around you at times.
Is currently questioning his life choices.
Oh, did they taxidermy that so fast?
What?
Listen, we have top
But-
men that can do various things in this land. It's awesome.
The unicorn looks at you and says, "They're very talented.
There's BBC this.
Make a wisdom save. You get advantage because you haven't been given an official title."
Uh,
You have to be exposed to the castle long enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
yeah,
don't,
it's 12.
you do not see it.
I don't think it's possible for me to fail a wisdom save.
Uh,
You can just say I choose to fail.
It's like
That
this
is-
has to be.
Yeah, but at the same time, there's got to be like you said, there's got to be a little bit more influence. There's
Yeah.
still a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
look,
You know,
Right now,
Giles
Giles
can
is just
say,
like-
"I choose to fail," and then I will go hog wild with the day. But I like that random chance in there too. It really
Anyway.
is. How did he wake up that day?
anyway. Anyway, what are we doing today? Or we just do random stuff?
I thought we were investigating the towers. I did.
Yes,
Yeah,
I did
yeah,
prepare the science stick.
Yeah, just getting there. They are a bit of ways away.
How far?
GM, can you remind me how far?
They're scattered around, so you know if you travel a few days, you'll be able to find one.
I believe the nearest one is a few days away.
To the pumpkin cart.
Wait, how is my skeleton doing? I completely didn't forget about that.
Did you have your skeleton doing anything?
Oh, he's probably just chilling, pretending to be
Yeah, he'd
dead.
probably find that.
Like he's
Oh, good, good.
he's learning spooky skeletons on his ribs.
He's having Halloween stuff happen to him.
Yeah.
I'm not imagining like as we're walking towards the cart, like we just see Janlos's creature just walking through playing its ribs as a xylophone.
I figured it was pulling your cart at this stage.
Yeah, he would probably be pulling the cart. Yeah.
Because I imagine, like, when we just leave it, it can either just do its own actions, or as a passerby, it's like, "Hey, can you do this?" And we'll come back like, "Why are you doing that?"
Sounds like-
I
Do what I'm
will
told.
say though, as you're leaving the town, you do notice that there are fewer people who are selling red sand.
I need to look into that. That's kind of different.
So there are definitely more posters for Bugger Up.
Oh, bugger me.
We need to find either some way to make sure that all of these things are working together on their inventions, or just talk to the person named Tink that these posters say not to get involved.
Like I could put some feelers out, see what I can find.
Let's just look for him. We could look for Tink, right? Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be great. My ogre's probably just nodding his head, like just full support.
Don't encourage him, Ogre.
We'll do that after we've gone out to this tower.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the red sand thing is a bit more concerning to me just because it's taking out, people who are supposed to be going through. But at the same time, if they're selling out here, then anything that happens to them is kind of their own thing.
Anyway, off on our adventure.
Aye, aye, Captain. Wait, no. That King, Captain. Who's my
Yes.
boss again?
Yes, King Vivi. I mean, what?
That's your head,
Friends, do
maybe.
you wish to be a captain?
Me? No. I've got enough problems, and I point to my buddy that I've created. I'm in charge of enough people. I don't need.
All right, suit yourself. The sign, the offer's on the table if you want it.
Yeah, Les, I mean, it's great that you're making friends and everything.
Yes, he doesn't talk back. And I just kind of pat him on
In the
head.
background where none of you can see is somebody who is running, and suddenly a shadow like flies out, kills him, takes a bag of red sand and runs back into the shadows. And somebody just walks along, takes the body, and leaves. All of this just in the background.
Does Vivi see this?
No, none of you see that.
Yes.
I have this
Anyway.
feeling. I have this feeling that there's something important that we need to look into at some point, but it's not right now. We've got bigger fish
But
to fry.
Ashley
this
says
time.
there's a lot of things you're supposed to be paying attention to.
Don't worry, Joseph. When you get that feeling, just keep going until that feeling goes away. That's what I do.
But right now,
Nice,
science. Joyless, you got the science stick?
In the bag.
Good, let us go.
Let us pray.
Let us leave.
Let us make like trees and leaf.
Onward.
Okay.
Is any,
Onwards, Buttercup. There is fucking
Alright.
to be spread.
and Andy does have lore of the science stick if you wish to share.
You know, no, we're gonna let the,
Okay.
the
It's
science
like no-
stick be a mystery.
All right,
That-
sounds good.
And when Vivi said Buttercup, he's looking at Joyleth.
I just look at Vivi and I go, you know, I like you right now. I don't want to keep liking you.
Many people say that.
We need to work on your social skills.
I have plenty of social skills.
No, you don't.
I
Your
just
social skills.
Uh,
Your social skills are about as useful as my fighting skills.
I show Vivi professional social skills. I walk up to Joseph and poke him in the face. Hey, how's it going? And I just
see,
in the
see, he gets it.
See, I know that some too. Hey, do you know this thing called personal space?
exactly like that's it. That's full on channels. Hey, how's it going? Like all in the face.
Anyway, we're getting distracted.
No way, not us, not this group. Come on, really? No.
Oh, what's this? Something completely irrelevant.
We just had something die behind us and we're still going toward the tower.
Well, here's the thing. Even if Jyleth did notice, death is common in these lands because even then we have a freaking fence full of skulls. It is common.
The Vivi gets into the.
It's more common for funerals than birthdays. Let's put it that way.
That's not good.
That's normal. In this group, that's pretty
As
normal.
a player, yes, that's absolutely horrible. For Jyleth, who is pure neutral and enjoys his reign, it's like, I like this land. It does its own thing.
And as you are traveling through the dark woods that now surrounds your village and past the line of skulls, you do see a few parts of bodies.
Ooh, can I pick up bones from them?
They're not whole. They've been gnawed on.
Oh, that's disgusting. I wouldn't touch that. Never mind.
Actually, I'm gonna make a survival check to see what's been gnawing on them, if that's okay.
Okay.
I will assist.
I'll
11.
watch.
I got an 11.
11. Something with teeth.
May I try?
Sure.
Uh, 19.
Oh, looks like probably canine sort of teeth. Definitely nothing from. It's probably from one of the other places. Definitely not this plane.
Then yeah,
There's an extra. From what I can see, there is some extra dimensional hounds gnawing on bodies.
with the 27, what would I know?
These were creatures of the dark.
Oh, okay.
The bark.
That's like, Jesus.
Question: wouldn't they be creatures of the bark?
Creatures of the bite. All right.
I regret nothing.
Yeah, it just went bump. It just went bump in the debate.
We are
Moving
so-
on.
Murder everyone. Let's see if murder elementals show up.
Murder. They're just like saw blades, just pure saw blades.
It's like, hey, oh shit.
They look they razor blades with emo fringes.
No. They're log
And now they
cabins.
have barbed wire.
No, what they are just log cabins with an infighting fire inside.
Oh God, no! And by chance, do they have a secret compartment underneath?
All right, moving along.
right,
We're
so-
just gonna
Yeah, moving
go
along.
for it.
Yeah.
Go
So
for it.
before that, Jonathan was trying to look at the body and see if this person like was armored or any kind of weapons on them. Basically, if this was a fighter or were just a commoner.
You know what? Give me an investigation, but with advantage because you're looking for things that you would recognize as a soldier.
All right, that is unfortunately still only a 10.
Only a 10? Okay. The person did have like what you might refer to as simple weapons, like had a couple of daggers on them, but they
Alright.
were not kitted out in strong armor. But
Good.
more like sort of what you I'm gonna say is probably was one of the criminal types that's been hanging around your city.
Gotcha. So not a warrior, just more of like a more like just a little bit above commoner, just a little bit of the lesser.
Yeah.
All right.
So what it sounds like you're describing this guy as wearing was something very akin to what I used to wear then. So like leather armor, daggers.
Basically, first I was thinking about it like a criminal, but only had the starting package.
like,
Now, granted, Joseph, we all have to start somewhere, but
I know, but this sounds like it's just something's just actively eating rogues. So once we get back from the towers, I really need to look into this.
yeah,
as do I, because like worry Claire intensifies, so you feed it through his mask.
Joseph, you do know that the main people leaving and coming into and leaving your city are criminals.
Yeah.
Okay.
that's why Charlie is not stunned by this. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, the person made a wrong turn.
It's like something is eating rogues. We have dozens of rogues coming through this passage every day. Why is it eating rogues?
like I said, why do we have more funerals than birthdays?
He's he's classist. The murderer is classist.
Yes.
He
Okay,
went. He
Really?
went the murder
How many
elemental.
knights do we have? 5. How many rogues do we have? Quadrillion. Oh, they're targeting rogues. It's math here.
Well, it's more like I kind of need to figure out what's going on because I kind of like having rogues continuously going through, and if
As
things
do I.
keep eating them, and if things keep eating them, eventually they'll stop coming through. And it's just like I kind of need to figure this out before they gotta go. No, it's not
Fine,
worth our
we'll
time
arm
coming
the
through.
criminals with better weaponry. Would you like that?
They
Yes,
just,
yes, please. Can I get a bit better weapon, please?
they just lost the gamble.
Because I'll gladly make a booth when people come in the city. Like, welcome to our city. Here's your +1 silver short sword.
Oh, can I have one of those?
No.
I was like, hey, we're giving out silvered weapons now. Hold on, what? No.
No silver weapons. That is an official decree. We're not just handing out silver swords here.
I couldn't use it anyways.
Like, if it's a short sword, I can use it. Actually, like I actually learned a fair few things in my time in the Feywild, mainly how to use weapons.
Mhm.
I mean,
Which tower are we going to first?
The Tower of
whichever the one
Babylon.
that,
I figure you were
Yeah.
going to the closest one.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
All right. Just
Yeah,
wanted to
we
make
only have
sure.
we have reports of one of them that was the closest within 3 days, so that's the one we're going to.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Now,
3
I will
days.
say having an ogre skeleton that doesn't tire, you'll be able to make it a little bit quicker.
Oh yeah, look at that big boy doing work, boys.
Of course, you
Well-
also terrify everyone who sees you go by.
I don't think we need an ogre skeleton for that.
Well, I mean, you are all inside a giant pumpkin,
Yeah.
so they don't see you, but they do see the skeleton.
Beautiful ogre
is
skeleton.
It is so weird having a character that caused fear and with the many, and he's just there waving in a pumpkin.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's a small child that's waving back while mom's like, "Stop that!
Yeah.
Don't acknowledge them."
I just grab some of the chocolate chips that are around Giles
Oh
from
my
the
God.
rain and just try to hand them over to this small child.
Are you really leading a small child into your van?
I just want to say that they don't see it the way you saw it there, Joseph. And mom picks up her child and runs away from you screaming.
Yeah, you just basically
I don't
reached
blame
your
you.
hand out to a little kid. Like you were just gonna.
Yeah. Vivi shouts out behind the mother. I don't blame you. I would run if I could as well.
Oh, there's what? Joseph, I wonder why we're not making many friends on these expeditions. And he's purely sarcastic.
I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that we wander around with a giant ogre skeleton, or the fact that you and I seem to be enjoying things that other people can't. Or it might just be the fact that we're in a giant pumpkin. I mean, but then that worked for Cinderella. Everybody loves her. And she removed the toes off of her freaking sisters.
Actually, no. I heard there's a small circle in the court that don't actually completely dislike Cinderella.
Also,
Oh.
don't blame Jimmy the skeleton. That's why you guys can't make friends.
These are all good suggestions. I ignore all of them.
Nice.
Again, sarcasm.
In all fairness, Jimmy the skeleton is actually one of the most likable one of all of us.
Except for me, and I poke you in the face.
You feel rotten squidge.
That's okay.
I was about to say, like, do you have like sharp claws? I hope you don't do like you go to poke and you're accidentally like puncturing people's noses.
I do have claws. Actually. So it's one of-
you think it's a nice poking gesture, but you maybe miss one day.
You pull back and you see necrotic oozes on your finger.
I'm used to it.
Wash your hands.
I just fling it at the king. Okay, no problem.
Good enough. All right.
Okay,
so
if y'all are done.
No, yeah. Giles will now just like you just passively look out the window and just ensure like nothing dangerous comes our way.
Well, you Giles, I am going to say that you do see where some highwaymen had set up ambushes, but they're not screwing around with the giant skeleton.
As at that moment, Giles will pretend not to see them.
Yeah. But it's like you see somebody and then they say, get pulled back behind a tree.
Yeah, it's that moment where Giles is like.
So I'm going to say that you will arrive at the tower at night. You can start inspecting right away, or you can wait till morning.
Since I'm a man without night vision, I suggest we camp.
All right. Sorry, I'll go get enough kind of firewood. Who wants to start the fire?
I'll start the fire. I'll also start making the dandelion stew.
I will also help you with gathering and stuff. I might be able to find some meat.
All right. And Turtle Man, you
Captain, I don't do anything.
Captain, I don't do anything.
Yeah.
All right,
Giles, I have to ask, is that an official title?
Oh, of course.
I mean, yes, like of course.
Because where it's like he points and gives a title, I imagine like rather it is through the powers of him as a king or from the Shadowfell itself. It's like it has been said, and as soon as
Okay.
it leaves
You
the
are
finger,
the captain, and I don't do anything.
Well, he does have the assassin that never kills him.
And now he's got a captain that doesn't do anything. So
Because we have we have like a duke and we have the assassin. Now we have a captain.
I'm gonna go look for some meat.
Right.
That won't be hard. It's still there's still plenty of wildlife around. I won't even make you roll for that.
Like, Vivi pulls out his longbow.
So you're all able to set up camp for the night, prepare some fresh food that wasn't cooked by a crazy method.
Nothing wrong with that.
Vivi brings in a nice deer.
You know, I kind of like our crazy method. Frank's actually quite fun.
Mhm.
I mean, yes, he's named after a sausage, but at the same time, he knows how to make a pretty decent hamburger.
And his pancakes are pretty good as well. Like, but I always see, but I see this random orc in the kitchen, like shouting about dragon ducks. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, just let him be.
It's
For now.
yeah, maybe
Yeah.
better myself. Thank you.
He's the
Yeah.
he's the royal crier. He have found this thing to cry about.
For context, that is the title that Joseph's give, not Jarless. So before we got cocky with that,
No,
Yeah,
it has been made somewhat canon that only Gilith can hand out titles.
That was
anyway,
actually Joseph being sarcastic for once.
yeah.
Vivi prepares the meat, hands it here. This might help with the food.
You'll see Janlos kind of about to start like prepping a spell, but then the food starts arriving. He's like, you know what? That's fine. Just kind of digs in.
Did we
How
take away
far
your
away
job,
from the
Jim?
tower are you camping? Just out of curiosity. Like, are you
I-
right next to it? Are you
I
30
can't-
feet away?
A comfortable distance away.
Okay.
Probably like 30 feet.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think
Yeah.
30 feet would be.
Okay.
Like,
Just-
you guys are 30 feet. Vivi is about 40. It's just
Yeah, sure.
just wanted to be sure.
Yeah. I almost want to be like, it's right here. Bing, bing.
What's my longest spell casting feat? 110.
Because
Because if anything goes bumping in the night, we can have visual sight of it.
Vivi's mentality is if something's coming for us from the tower, they'll get those three first, and he'll be in the back.
Yes, they'll
And
get
if
the
something
healer
comes from the
first.
back, they'll all have your death to spare them.
Exactly. Like it swings and roundabouts.
Joseph will just like spend the night leaned up against it drawing.
Okay.
Janlos will draw a battle plan in the sand, but Jimmy is gonna walk over it, so it's nothing.
Vivi is sleeping in a tree.
Okay. So Vivi is definitely the furthest away because there's always some sort of trees are within sight.
Yeah.
You're in a pretty foresty area.
Yeah.
There's always something that needs to be cleared.
Yeah.
But he's the furthest away.
Just to make sure Vivi, when he's camping, if he can, he will sleep in a tree.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. It's not like any scary things ever live in trees.
No, he's well away. He's just used to it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, nothing awkward happens in the night. You do still have a giant ogre skeleton that keeps most sane people away.
Oh yeah, Jimmy doing his job.
Well done, Jimmy. You're more efficient than anyone here.
So Next day, the sun is rising. The birds are singing. There's a slight mist that's slowly being burnt off by the rising sun.
What
Is it
kind of
still
song is
raining?
the bird singing?
Bird song.
Is it still raining chocolate chips around Giles?
Oh, that stopped when you left the confines of Thieveston.
Okay. I'll poke the ashes of the fire, just to make sure it keeps everybody warm for the morning. Then I'll walk up to the tower and I'll give it a gentle knock.
Okay, you knock on what feels like brass.
Mhm.
It's got gears all along it, but the gears aren't turning or doing anything.
I'll yell up to the top of the tower, "Hello!"
Nothing. There is a large gym at the top of the tower, but it's like a good 40 feet up.
I think the large gym is actually there. He's an ugly skeleton.
Sorry.
I said I believe there's already have a large gym. He's an ugly skeleton. It's down here.
This is more of the a citron type, an orangish gym. I don't know the names of gyms. I'm not a gemologist.
Yeah. And meanwhile, like, well, after Joseph done, it is Giles gonna be like, all right, my turn, and he's just charging with science stick.
Okay, hit it with science stick.
All right, first swing. All right, that'll be a 10.
You thunk against the tower.
All right, second swing. All right, that'll be 21.
21. You crack right up against one of the gears, and it turns a little bit, but that's it.
It's curious how the science stick and shillelagh would work together.
I'm just going to start turning the gear that moved when he hit it.
Yeah,
Make a strength check.
I'll help with that.
Okay, you can make it with advantage now.
I love when
Nat
science.
20.
I love when science prevails.
So you start turning this big gear, and you can hear the mechanics inside working. From where's everybody else standing while he turns this?
He's still up in the tree sleeping.
Jimmy's keeping lookout, and yeah, that way.
Yeah, Jimmy is a mindless skeleton who does not get to observe.
Oh, that's why he's just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Until
imagine,
you
like,
give him some sort of specific order, he's just there. Occasionally he
Yes.
does something weird because you've established it and it's funny.
Perfection.
So the only one who was like, most of you are looking up, and as you know, looking up at a tower like this, you're not going to see as much. Vivi, you see the gem start to turn very slowly.
Huh, that's interesting. Guys,
Yes.
Jim's turning.
No, Jim's standing still.
No.
Jim, spin around.
Gem, not Jim. Think band from band. Think band that had really bad music, not
So most of late
not
90s
Sailor.
most late 90s pop bands.
Is there a door to go into the tower?
No, there is not. There's not seem to be any kind of entrance.
I'm actually going to pull out a map of the countryside, and then I'm going to look to Vivian. I'm going to go, do you know the rough areas that all these towers have been noted as being?
God, do I know?
You know a few. You know enough to start trying to get a couple maps.
I know a few locations, and he pulls out jots down where the locations.
Now
I'm
I
going
want to be clear. Joseph, did you go to Vivi, or Vivi, are you coming closer?
Vivi is doesn't want to get too close to it, but he knows he has to do his
Okay.
job as the information gatherer, and he hops down and prepares to basically run away as soon as things look bad.
All right. So Joseph, you quit turning the gear, I take it?
Just for a moment, but once I've gotten all the directions of the tower of the directions of the towers, and or at least their
What
general
is your
areas,
strength modifier, please?
0.
0. Okay, so this is taking like most of your effort to try to turn this gear. It's that's hard to move. If Janlos wasn't helping you, you don't think you'd be able to move it at all.
Yeah.
Jonathan,
Yes.
I believe your brawn is in order.
If you insist.
Jalith, what is your strength modifier?
My strength modifier is a +4.
4. Okay. In that case, you can keep turning the gear. It's still going to take a good bit of your focus, but
Can I borrow the science stick, please?
Oh, yes, sir.
Sure.
There you go.
Like looks at it, smiles, and has now got new shillelagh target.
Remember to give the science stick back afterwards.
Oh.
Actually, maybe we can turn the gem so that it's facing one of these other towers, and that can show us probably what they do. Out of character, I'm going to be right back. I need to use the loo real fast.
okay.
Wait, that could have been in character too. He
Yeah,
just
but-
like stops talking
don't-
and goes to the
So,
bathroom.
Giles,
Yeah.
are you just going to keep turning this giant
Yeah.
gear until someone tells
Like-
you otherwise?
Yes.
Yeah. Since I'm assuming Joseph mentioned out loud, he's gonna basically take the map and point, and then when he figures where the gem is, pointing at the right direction towards the nearest tower.
It's sort of there's no pointing. It's
in the general direction of the other tower.
no, what I mean is I'm bad with shapes. It's a hexagon, is a
Yeah.
polyhedron.
Oh,
So there is no face. I mean, there's lots of
Hmm.
faces, but you know what I'm saying. There's no directional.
fair. Maybe
it's
to do-
spinning like this.
maybe it's to do with light refraction.
What if we just take the tower down? No tower, no gym. Yeah.
No, that won't work. Like, Joseph is strong. I think it'd be a bit beyond him to do this.
I can do it if that's what we agree upon. Don't ask
No.
questions of how, but I can make it happen.
No, we should figure out what they do. If destroying one of them could end the world. I like the world, spending time in it.
Oh. Well, all right. I'm just gonna go paint more stuff into the ground so Jimmy can just erase it on accident.
Like,
How close is Jimmy getting to the tower?
Oh, he's probably up to the tower now because I was gonna have him assist, but no, he's up next to me.
Okay.
Joyleth,
Yes.
may I try an experiment on the science stick?
That's what the science stick is for.
Hey, Vivi cast Shillelagh on the science stick.
No, he doesn't. You cast the spell, but it does nothing.
Huh.
Now you felt the magic leave you, and Jimmy falls down.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Sort of a bit like Vivi thinks. Like, there might, would I need to make a roll to determine this, or I think I already know what's happening?
What do you think is happening?
There's an anti-magic field around the tower.
That's a theory.
Hmm.
That's a good theory.
I just go to Jimmy. It's gonna be okay, buddy. And then I look up to Vivi bastard. And then I just walk away.
Why am I the boss? I mean, usually yes, but why in this case? Why?
No, I'm not answering. You just in Janlos's eyes, you just killed Jimmy. Like you just killed
Jimmy was already dead. Jimmy was
Not-
already dead.
Not to
How could
Janlos.
science tear us apart?
But makes mental note to try that again when we're not near the potential anti-magic field.
Makes mental note. Do not heal Vivi. He killed Jimmy.
Um, Joseph, this something. Well, all about the tower. I have a hypothesis though.
On?
The what's happening on the tower. I believe there's an anti-magic field. I just tried to cast Shillelagh on the science stick, and the magic activated, but then poof,
You
nothing.
killed Jimmy.
I
Chandler
did, not,
shouts.
I did not kill Jimmy, and technically he was already dead.
More get
You
on
do
the
know-
gem. I told you.
You do know the reason why we call it the science stick is because it doesn't burn when you try to put it in fire, right?
Yes, I'm
No,
aware.
it does burn. It just won't reduce to ash.
Yes. King Jive like these dumb motherfuckers turning
I
it by
know,
himself.
Yeah, he's just like at a giant ship wheel turning it.
Let me try that again, and he tries to cast guidance.
Nothing happens.
Any other magic caster here who's not wanting to plot my demise for actions for things that were not my fault?
Can I attempt to drag Jimmy's dead body away from the tower?
It'll take
Okay.
you a while because it's in pieces. And we're talking about ogre pieces, so it's going to take a while.
Oh, wow. Never mind. Janlos is too sad because Jimmy's is dead.
Again,
Dead. You killed Jimmy. This is gonna dock your healing you received this session. Don't you worry.
jokes on you. There'll be no need for healing this session.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, you guys are more likely to kill yourselves. And I'm talking about the type where you can't be saved. Just you do something dead.
Phoebe's gonna take a close look at the tower, try and figure out if there's any markings, anything of note.
I have a very interesting question. Do these cogs run up the entire length of the tower?
You see some on the outside, but when he's turning it, you can hear internal things happening. And like I said, the gem is spinning. Make an investigation check for markings that you would recognize.
Okay, cool.
19.
I will.
32.
32. It's not so much a language, but there is a like a style to the cogs. It's like, I'm trying to say, when a master craftsman is making something, they basically make it in their signature style.
Yeah.
It looks similar to everything, like the gear, the equipment that you saw in Grimthorn's laboratory.
This is peculiar. I think we might have to have a word with Grimthorn when we get back, because sorry, I'm not going to try. It's pretty much obvious that I went in there, and I'm not apologizing. Purity got the better of me. I apologize for nothing. The markings up there are similar to some stuff I found in Grimthorn's lab.
So do we knock it down?
No. No, we ask him what it's for. We ask him what it's for, and we let him know who got into his room.
I apologize for nothing.
Was there anything else in his room that you did?
Covered my tracks
How?
through various means.
Well, you didn't do it very well, because if he was asking us to not go into his room, that tells me that he knew somebody was in there. So what did you do in there?
Negotiated a creature inside the tower to make sure he didn't know it was me.
Did the creature have a name?
that GM, I forgot that I could get his
You
name.
did not share names with it.
No. I generally try to avoid sharing my name with mysterious creatures because old habit.
I mean, Ashley, do you want to tell him how this could go wrong in so many different ways, or should I?
Do you want to stab him? You want to stab him, don't you?
No, I don't want to stab him.
Oh,
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
Oh God, everyone knows that's worse.
that's definitely worse.
Take 5 emotional pain.
Yeah, that is like psychic damage.
like that's what my mama said before she died.
One of those-
Emotional pain won't actually kill you. It just makes you sad.
Oh,
And my father and my little sister and my older brother. Shit, I didn't come from a nice place.
so
So
what's
what
the
creature?
plan?
What creature did you make this deal with?
Ooh.
It was a bloody looking thing.
And how? Why was it wanting to make a deal with you to cover up your tracks? What did it get?
Freedom.
Oh dear God! You released something inside of the wizard's room.
I believe everyone should have freedom. It's not fair that creatures should be confined.
Maybe there was
You
a
said-
reason. Like
Yeah, maybe what you've just done is unleashed an ancient evil upon the world. I mean,
I mean, we already have. I mean, like nothing new there. Like someone sneezes, there is an ancient evil in this world. It's no big deal.
Gileth, the gear is getting easier to turn as you turn it. As you go. Do you want to turn it faster when you're able to?
Is that moment of just like Giles are like yes, and then players like no.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because at first, it was you had to make it, you had to really work to turn it, and now that it's getting easier, you can go faster.
I imagine Giles will get to the point where he's basically spinning the wheel and the freaking Price is Right, where he's just like yeah.
I kind of get this.
Give me a
I
strength check for that one.
Oh boy, yes.
Before you give the results of the roll, I'm going to check my chest because Ashley didn't answer when I actually asked him about that thing. So I'm just like, wait, Ashley normally has something very degrading or witty to say. And I check underneath my shirt just to see my chest to see if the black veins are still there. It's like that.
The veins are there, but it's okay. So most of the time, how would you describe Ashley?
Like a
Groovy?
like no, like Uatu from
Give me a
freaking-
description I understand. I do not know that reference.
That's what Total Recall was.
You've never seen Total Recall?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't recognize the name. All right. So most of the time you have like a full-on face that can talk to you.
Mhm.
We're not going to say something that sticks 2 feet out because that would be cumbersome.
Yeah.
This time it's like a mold that, like a special effects mold you might have put over your body. It's completely inanimate. But there's no life to it right now.
I should just check it out.
I touch it.
You feel it.
Do you bop it?
Giles, what was your roll?
I rolled a 19.
19. Oh yeah, you've got. I mean, I'm not quite Price is Right fast.
Yeah.
But you got a good rhythm going on
Oh, yeah.
now.
almost to the point where I can go like no hands.
Yeah,
Spin it.
it's going so fast you're barely even touching it now.
I feel like we're forgetting something. Jonathan!
Whee!
It's like the moments
what?
you just see Jimmy come up and down.
Look at it
like-
go.
I think
That
we're
gem
done
is spinning
spinning it.
is spinning in time with Gileth.
I think we're done spinning it, Giles.
Gileth, stop. Please.
All right, and he puts his hands up, and it's still going.
Flame lobs the fire stick into it.
Okay, so you know, like when you got like the big gears, yes, you can stick something into it. There's a bit of a creaking sound as the science stick comes out, but it does not stop.
Oh fuck! Like, and you hear, like you basically hear Vivi sweat. Basically, this massive long string of swear words in Sylvan.
Does anybody have a passive perception over 15?
I do.
I do.
Okay, you two notice that the grass around you is turning brown.
Oh god, things are dying.
Hey, Jimmy died, asshole. And I just let King Jalek know that the grass is turning brown.
I'm gonna take a handful of ball bearings and toss them into the gear.
Oh God.
Imagine
I'm
you just
gonna-
start
I'm gonna
throwing
get
stuff
in-
at
Wait,
this
I'm gonna
thing.
get into my shell with you.
Yeah,
on that.
Vivi's running.
Okay, so Janlos goes into a shell. Vivi is running, I imagine, as fast as he can.
Yeah, he's taking the bonus, main action and bonus action dash.
Gileth, are you just standing there?
Well, because I don't see the threat, so Giles is just like, wow, look at that wheel go.
Yeah. And then come in some ball bearings, and you hear the creak of metal as they are crushed.
Oh,
Ooh,
good.
that was crunchy.
Nothing shut out. I'm gonna
Joseph,
get
you
out
got
of
any
my
more of
shell.
those? Joseph?
Like Vivi pokes his head out from behind a tree. Anything happen?
I come out of my shell. Oh, we're good. Yay.
Your pumpkin cart is now like is a jack-o'-lantern in December.
Absolute
Oh
mush.
god. Oh dear God. Like think.
We need to remove the citron at the top because it's a power focus.
Good point. Like so like very looks at his small collection of spells. Wait, no, magic doesn't work here. Shit.
It's
So-
at this point, I have an idea. How fast is the gear going that Gilith had been using before?
I don't really know how to put it in terms of speed, but it's steady. It's not going like so fast that you can't see the gears. And for the record, you know, there's only like a couple of gears on the outside. There's not. Most of them seem to be internal, but it is going at a steady pace, and it is completely is on its own momentum now.
So I guess, do we want to talk to the guy about what the towers are? Or do we just want to destroy the tower? And
No, we want to just remove the citron for now and then go talk to him. Is it moving fast enough for Joseph to be able to use like a launching mechanism?
You want to try to climb the tower? Is what I'm.
I want to try and climb the tower, yes, but in such a way that Joseph is just going to step onto the gear, get launched up into the air, and he's going to use his grappling hook and rope in order to try and get up to the citron.
The gear, it doesn't go that high. It's maybe 5 foot wide, and it's not spinning fast enough. But if you want to use your grappling hook, it's about 40 feet to the top of the tower.
Uh,
That would be an impressive
Anybody else
throw.
got another? Anybody else got some? Well, I've got a bow.
You can climb my back.
I-
I'm 8
I
feet
have-
tall.
Hang on, I have a longbow.
Oh, I have a crossbow.
I tie my rope and grappling hook onto an arrow and hand it over to Vivi.
Vivi takes aim and fires.
I am going to say that this will be with disadvantage because a grappling hook is sort of an awkward weight. Unless you
Okay.
got something specifically made to fire it.
Yeah, okay. Nope.
It's not a difficult one. I just want to make it's not easy either. So
8.
8.
Yeah.
It clangs down and it doesn't find purchase and it falls down.
Like I'm not. Let's try that again. If
It did
the GM
not
allows
get
it.
caught in the gears.
Yeah.
But it almost
Okay.
got caught in the gears.
Just try it again. Just try it again.
Okay. 11.
11. All right. Yeah, you're able to get it up there. You pull. Yeah, it's secure. It's no problem. It's secure.
Joseph starts climbing up. Joseph
Yeah,
is going to start.
no, as you do that, I pat you on the back, try and cast guidance. This is a good distance away.
No, it doesn't. In fact,
Damn it.
Joseph, I want an athletics check to climb this thing.
Can I do acrobatics?
No. Acrobatics would be if you were keeping your balance. You're trying to use main strength.
I'm gonna be there.
I'm going
ready
to
catch
slip
'em.
because I just rolled a 3.
Yeah. Let me
Jyleth?
see.
Yes.
Oh, your foot does get into the gear. What is everybody? What those of you who are by Joseph? What do you do as you see his foot get into the gear?
I try to get.
You said you were further away.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull it out or catch it before it goes in, kind of thing. What can I do to prevent it from him?
Give me a quick strength check to pull him loose.
Oh, you're fucked, brother. I rolled a nat 1. Well, you know what? Listen, sometimes you gotta be put loose. Yeah, I'm not rolling this die again. I'm gonna put it in the bag.
Just call me Pete because I'm about to be a Peggy.
That one's going in the bag.
Yeah, Gileth, you're the only other one there. I'll give
All
you
right.
a reaction.
All right, I'm gonna try grabbing the Joseph and the turtle.
Okay.
That's only a 12.
12.
Ah.
Joseph.
uh,
Joseph, you're going to take 12 points of crushing damage as you lose your foot. That is going to cost you 10 feet of movement per round until you can do something to restore your foot. I hope I don't need to describe what that sounds like to everybody. Just use your imaginations. It is
Yeah.
that bad.
Vivi cringe. Vivi is basically heaves from back there.
Once Joseph gets pulled out, Janos is gonna kind of suture the wound. I think.
Okay, give me a quick medicine check. This shouldn't be too hard for you. You should have medicine, or at least be better at the most.
9 + 8. Oh, 17.
Okay, yeah, you can stop the bleeding.
Good,
You can do something about some of the pain.
Oh no! I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
one
you
of
just
those.
stop it. Oh,
That's
this
one of
just
those. What did
triage.
we learn
Oh, okay.
about this? It's one of those. Hey, I'm helping you, but what did
I
we
thought maybe you
learn?"
would apply a little bit of lidocaine or something to it. It's like, nope.
No.
What did we
Oh, no.
learn? As
Yeah,
you
pretty much.
tighten it up.
Gileth,
Yes.
do you want to try?
No, I'm not gonna put my foot in there.
No, I mean climb.
I think it would have been better if Joseph jumped more so than trying to use a grappler.
It's just that moment. It's like, I'll try, and you see him just take out 2 hand axes, and he's gonna try to force it into the stone and try to use it to climb.
I mean with a grappling hook.
Why do you leave details out that can further assist me?
Because for a brief moment I forgot who you were.
Fair.
Gileth, because it's you, what check do you need to make to climb this thing with hand axes?
Oh,
I
God.
imagine it is just pure strength as he's just gonna try to
Okay,
in bed, and he doesn't move until it's in.
Okay, that makes sense.
22.
Even though this thing is made of metal, you have stronger iron, and it takes you a while.
Yes, it's
But
not a quick process at all.
You climb your way up one hand axe at a time. I cannot believe that worked.
Knock the citron off the top.
Aren't you in pain?
Yes.
Doctor's orders. Calm down. Don't talk.
No. No. Doctor?
Do you need an anesthetic? Pulls out the side stick.
I would rather drink the venom shot again than have your version of anesthetic.
I'm gonna he
Giles,
looks-
it's going to take you a solid 10 minutes to climb this thing.
Yep. It is not a quick process, but
No.
it's a process.
Yes.
Oh, with these 10 minutes, I'm just gonna like kind of fiddle a fake leg or splint for Joseph.
I offer one of Jimmy's legs.
You know, I'm just gonna hand you 10 gold and go, can you heal this right now?
Oh, for money? Yeah, I just cast basically like I don't. Is it like it's just damaged, right? It's not broken.
Oh,
broken?
it is missing,
Okay.
crushed.
So I need.
He needs regeneration or a peg leg, but you
Yeah.
can try to like heal the wound.
Yeah, I'll heal the wound with good old cure wounds at level 1.
You lose that spell slot.
Cop, I forgot all about that. I would like to make a medicine check to like with my healer's kit to actually suture something up.
Yeah, I can do that.
Vivi walks up closer with Jimmy's legs. Sees he could might help.
They
19
are
plus
about
8,
twice the size of his normal foot.
That doesn't answer my question.
27 on the medicine check.
Okay.
So,
Yes,
like,
you are able to just to apply bandages. You put some things in to prevent any sort of infection.
Cool.
Basically, we're not going to go into detail because I read a book that went into way too much detail. You're able to clean the wound appropriately so that future healing might be able to restore it.
Okay. I just like look at him. I was like, all right, you're all better. And I kind of help him up and walk him away from the tower.
Actually, now I get off the Jimmy's leg as a walking stick.
Gileth,
Yes.
you're finally able. You're at all right. So the way the tower works is like you climb up and then it's the edge sort of jumps out a little bit. You had to like reach around, do some rock climbing swings. You were able to pull yourself up. The gem is about 3 feet tall and it's sort of hovering.
I regret giving away the science stick.
Like here, like, you see Vivi with longbow and the side stick.
Oh no!
This couldn't possibly go wrong. For for perspective's sake, me and
All
Joseph
I gotta
are
ask as
basically
a
away from the
player.
tower.
Is this just for comedic effect and it's followed by just kidding? Or are you actually gonna try that?
No, I'm just kidding. Vivi,
Thank you.
Vivi is actually not stupid.
Because I imagine it's like here, and I just see it like go like maybe like 20 feet, and I'm like, cute.
No, he is a fire out of his longbow. But yeah, no.
As an
Oh.
archery nerd, I was like, I try not to go through the ways of physics through archery,
That's
but
just
there's a lot
all
of moments
bad.
where it's just
Even
like,
I was going to say, because I imagine this is almost like a short quarterstaff type of thing.
yeah,
It's just
like,
all
So
bad.
this is
Like
more
I
of a
s-
javelin.
Yeah. Hmm.
Oh,
all right, so
To be fair, if he's using a longbow with an over 400-pound draw, then he could technically do that.
yeah, Giles would just at first like with his trident in hand, just like, you'll do it for now, and he'll just like just poke the gym just to make sure, like, is there any kind of wards or anything gonna go off?
just sort of tink, tink, tink.
Oh, go Tinker's here.
Me and Joseph are about 10 feet away. I'm gonna attempt to do cure wounds on him again and see if it goes through.
All right, from
No,
10 feet
just-
away, you lose a
Yeah.
spell slot.
Fuck. Well,
Don't worry about me.
Joseph,
Don't worry about me
You
until
see
we're
the
in a
gem
situation.
suddenly flash.
Did somebody do something to the gem?
You
Yeah,
didn't
the-
see that.
Close your
Giles
eyes,
saw
doctor.
that.
Just
Names. You two know I get your names mixed up. Giles in front of the gem sees a flash, but from that distance away, I don't think he knew a spell was being cast.
so I imagine he's like, he sees a flash.
Does Vivi see the flash?
Which direction were you looking?
I was looking up.
Okay, then from your distance, you see a slight glint.
Huh. What's going on? Giles,
Yeah.
what's up? What's going up there?
Something, I don't know.
Just push it off.
Hey, settle down. Doctor's order, and I pat him on the leg.
Oh no. Okay, now my lifeguard side is like, you don't. No.
And the part of me that has felt pain in the past.
The part of me that is actually missing bits in my actual leg is going, ah.
Your character has so much trouble with his feet.
Like,
I wonder why that
right,
is. It's not like
Like-
it's not like as if my character is taking cues from my own life where I'm missing bits of my
Like, by chance, are you Kevin Bacon?
We get the
Giles-
joke.
Yeah.
We're not acknowledging
I'm,
the
like I
joke.
said, I'm not touching that. I'm not.
Jalos doesn't have an okay. He's got an okay bedside manner.
Giles, with the gem.
All right, so this flash is like, does anything happen other than just temporary blindness?
Nope, that was just it. There was just a really quick little flare in the gem.
Giles, if you push it off, you get 10 points.
I said, stop talking.
Yeah, is at the moment, it's not the guy that cares about points. He sees a challenge now, so push.
Make a strength check, please.
And
Gladly.
Vivi sees this and starts running.
That's a 13 on the strength check.
Okay, you take 1 point of damage as you touch the gem and start to push against it. It just sort of stung a little bit.
And like, is it just like now it's like he's still enough to hold on to it, or is it just enough to like repel him back?
You tell me. Did you keep pushing?
Oh, that was a tickle to Giles. So he's gonna be like,
Okay. You as you push harder, you take 9 points of damage.
all right, you little we're gonna do this. Now he's like pulling like full weight into it.
Okay, do an athletics check once again.
All right, we're looking at 22.
22. You get as much of a running start as you can with your like 5 to 10 feet, and as you slam against it, you feel as it pulls something out of you for 11 points of damage. How many was that total? I was only barely keeping track.
21.
Thank you.
Yes. And it's just at that moment, it's just like, so is it just still in place, or does it have moved anything?
It did not budge.
All right.
I look down.
I've never
at Joseph
seen you
like-
as a worthy opponent, but
That's so
you made me put onto the list. So he's gonna do it one more time. This time with SOS in hand.
Okay. So you're going to rear back and hit it with the sword.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Vivi's gone.
Janlos looks down at Joseph. 5 gold, says he falls.
It's a one.
A 1.
Joseph just looks at you and goes, get the mattresses ready.
Gilus, you tell me how you hit it. I want your description of how you hit
So-
it.
I just imagine it's just like dragging on the ground as he's just like going for like a huge upswing to where in his head, if he hits it, maybe enough force to like get it airborne.
Okay. So you're going for like the golf swing type of thing.
Yeah, golf swing. Yes, thank
Okay.
you.
So you rear back, you hit it. Arcane energy lances through the blade. You're going to take 17 points of damage as you are flung off the tower. And then you crash to the ground for another 9 points of damage as you fall.
Can I help him not take that by just moving myself to be the cushion?
You
that
can
he
barely
falls on?
walk right now.
I have one interjection before damage. I
Okay.
imagine the moment Giles sees it goes airborne, he goes like, it is like, oh shoot, and he misty steps back into the tower.
Yes. You can do that.
Um,
I forgot you had that ability now.
Yeah, so I imagine it's like you perceive like, oh, Giles gonna go, and then he goes.
Wait, Misty Step's magic though, right?
Oh, correct. No, you do not cast it and you lose the spell.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
It's just the way I see, but like he still tries.
Yes,
That's-
yes. You felt it and you see like the dark mist forming and then it's zapped away.
so
Take that,
now the
beautiful
additional damage comes in.
Yes.
That's what I was adding.
Yes.
Because I know it's like Giles doesn't know, so he would try.
V pokes his head out from the tree. What happened?
It's at this point that Joseph, being as frustrated as he is, just looks up at the stone and then uses psychic blades, because psionics aren't classified as magic in any way, shape, or form.
As
Univer
you
blades form.
throw your psychic blades, there's no damage perceived.
It doesn't have a brain. I need to remember that.
Right, I think we have to go back to the tower, speak to this wizard.
I'm
I
gonna
didn't
go
say I
help.
was done.
I'm gonna go help Jila. Say, hey, buddy, listen. Do you ever think you're gonna get your ass kicked by a stone? And then I will.
I have fought giants, my friend, with wielding stones, so yes.
That the grass is turning from green to brown, and I want to be clear, this isn't like, you know, the brown of just all the light's been sucked out of it. I mean, like, you know, winter is coming type of brown, you know, the
Is can Phoebe try and figure out what the hell is actually going on?
sure, give me an arcana check.
Since I am near the trees, am I far away to guidance myself?
How far away are you?
I am behind the nearest tree. Well, I put the second nearest tree.
Considering how long it's been going on, no, you cannot use magic yet.
Okay, let's see here. Arcana. Is it Arcana check, right?
Yes.
Not 20. Not dirty 20.
30, 20.
Dirty 20.
Based on what you can tell, magic is being pulled away. Now, because magic and life are intertwined, that means that maybe life is being pulled away, but you can't be sure about that. Because after all, somebody was using magic to kind of create an unnatural summer.
Guys, I suggest you get away from the tower. From what I can tell, magic is being drawn away, and possibly life.
I kind of like look at the group. How bad do we want the stone down?
Points to the grass around us. I think it's quite bad that we need to get this stopped.
I'm sorry, I just explained that magic is being pulled away as well as life.
Okay.
So you wouldn't have
Now,
scared,
those
right?
of you on the ground don't feel any weaker except for the injuries you've occurred.
Yes.
Jonathan Joseph. I would like to. I just let the group know, hey, I'm gonna step a little bit further away, like 30 feet. I'll just like tell them to stand clear of the tower.
Mhm.
And is 30 feet away gonna be okay enough to cast a spell, give or take?
I'm gonna say no. 30 feet is within the circle of dead grass.
How far? Like I just let everybody know to get away from the tower, and how far do I have to go? So
How far is the limit of your spell? That's sort of do it like a safety measure. Like, where do you want to stand?
I mean, I'll go 100 feet away, like, just like far enough outside of the dead grass to where I can have line of sight of the tower, but like
Okay.
not.
I want you to give me an intelligence check.
Oh, this can't go anywhere.
Go ahead and make it an Arcana check, just because you are trying to figure out where you can stand to cast magic.
That will be a 14.
Oh yeah, you should be fine.
Okay,
That's not bad.
that's not bad. Not bad. What I'm about to do is going to be bad, though. So don't worry.
You get outside the range of the dead grass. You've got, based on how fast it's moving, you've got time to cast the spell.
Cool.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Do you the hand out or leg up?
I guess I could have been nice enough to like help him out of the circle too, but I didn't think about it. So sorry, buddy. So once I guess visibly see them clear of the tower, I'm gonna cast sending and contact what I think was the dragon thing and tell them to take down the tower for me.
I want you. All right. So, Janelus,
Oh God.
how do you say this?
Oh God, we're gonna die, guys.
He keeps out the tree and then starts running himself a bit further away.
I'm pretty sure I didn't get his name, so I'm gonna like I don't got his name, so I'm gonna kind of, hey, it's me again, trying to turn in that favor. I need a tower that needs to be taken down. Could you assist me without causing like too much damage from the things around, please?
I'm trying to think. I want you to make a wisdom roll for me.
Saving or just a straight roll?
Just a straight roll.
Okay, so it still adds up. the +5. So it's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay. So nothing is taken from you as you feel what you think is you connecting to a dragon. You feel the link forming, but it doesn't draw anything away from you. But you do hear, finally unleashed at last, as back where Thieveston is, it's like suddenly an eclipse. Darkness spreads rapidly as you see the large winged shape come flying up, and as you requested, it aims itself for the tower. What you would probably describe as a shadowy dragon form comes forth, darkness following it. The land around you is twisting as the corruption of Thieveston is spread until it hits the tower. And even this creature shrieks as the shadow stuff is being pulled away from it, and it tries to escape the tower. And it is having to it's going to get about 50 feet away when the power really starts, and it's trying to fly away, but some of its power is being drug in. So around you has suddenly become night, or at least the normal day of Thieveston. Vivi, you recognize this as the normal light of the Shadowfell, except for around the tower. It's still dark, but it's like the corruption hits that point and then is pushed back as the tower continues to leech power away from it.
Guys, this is bad.
I tried, guys. Well, it didn't work, so this is awkward.
I don't have much in the way of capabilities with my even up capabilities. I'm supportive. Not
and as you guys look around, you just see Giles is dragging Joseph like, we're going.
Good idea. And Vivi runs.
Yeah, it's like, guys,
Yeah.
this is very bad. And you're just like, Joseph, like, no.
As you're dragging him, you see Vivi just run straight past you.
Yeah, exactly.
It's been fun, Jimmy, and Jalos is gonna kind of keep a safe distance, but still watch.
Is this a Draco Lich? So Joseph's not even resisting. He's just kind of like,
As you're being warrior carried.
yeah, just like, it's not a Draco Lich.
Guys, it's my buddy. He's came to help.
And he's now shrieking in pain, trying to get away.
He's come to make things worse.
Well,
I'm just
Can
gonna tap Giles' shoulder, and I'm just gonna be like, just put me down. Put me down and hand me a tree branch.
Let's go.
What the hell are you guys doing?
Joseph just starts slowly, like just hop along Cassidying up to the tower once again.
Okay. As you enter, you almost feel the pressure of the Shadowfell around you fades as you enter the circle that is ever growing.
It's the containment area. Just keeps walking up to the tower.
Okay.
I'm going to try and see if there is a seam between it and the ground.
No, it's like as the grass is okay, Shadowfell grass was already kind of dark, but you can tell the difference, whereas it continues to grow, it is taking over and becoming winter grass as opposed to shadow grass. I literally don't have words to describe this part. I've been prepping it for a while and I just realized I don't know how to say this. I didn't expect this exact combination of events.
It's like looking at the difference between the supernal and the natural. What everything that's within this area is suddenly to the natural order, whereas outside of this, we've been experiencing an overly long summer. Inside of here, it's like everything's been returned to its natural way. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that would be a pretty good way to describe it.
Oh, I'm killing one of my buddies. Oh no.
Just going to
Those of you that are outside the ever-growing circle, the terrain isn't exactly what you recognize. It's very similar, but there are differences. Nothing you can really like, oh, there should be a town over there, but it's a lot smaller than it used to be. And if you turn towards Ironrook, which is a massive city that you could see, you can see the walls from a good day or so away. The walls are different, more angular, sharp, dark stone.
This is not good.
I'm going to try and speed up the spinning wheel.
I'm going to be honest with you. At this point, it's kind of got its own momentum, and you don't have enough strength to affect it.
Sure. Okay. Wait a second. Do I see the point in which this gear is actually spinning on its axis?
No, not exactly. It's built into the tower. This party just happens to be on the outside.
Mm-hmm. Wait, so there's actually is there an actual seam or slot where it has to be poking out from then?
Based on the speed that it's turning, nothing you can easily get into. I mean, yes, you can kind of, but there's not much of a seam. It is.
Oh no.
It's very good construction.
I'm not gonna grab from the seam.
Mhm.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the hilt of my sword and start bashing on the copper, because I take it this is a giant copper building. Then I'm going to start bashing on the copper to try and deform it. That way, it actually gets caught up into the actual cog.
I mean, you can try to hit it.
So I'm going to use the butt of my rapier
Okay.
to do this. 14.
Okay. As you bring the hilt down to try to hit it, you take 7 points of damage as something comes lashing out to hit you, like just pure energy.
Oh, you've got a self-defense point.
I mean, out of character, assuming, well, you know what? I've been wasting spell slots all day. Actually, before I say that, let me okay, cool. Could I cast Dispel Magic on the tower? Would that do anything?
How far away do you need to be for Dispel Magic?
120 feet.
Okay, you can cast it.
Cool. I would like to cast that.
Okay.
At what level?
Yeah, what level?
Only have 3rd level, so I'm gonna have to roll if anything.
Okay. You know what? As you cast it, nothing happens.
Oh, well,
The spell slot is wasted.
oh yeah.
I want everyone but Joseph to roll initiative.
Oh,
Because
14.
these shadowy creatures are coming out of the woods and they are going to charge you all.
I rolled a
okay.
14.
18.
Okay. Giles?
7.
Okay. Okay. Vivi, you see these things coming first because you were furthest away.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Vivi is going to try and cast Shillelagh.
Okay, you're far enough away. You can cast it. Well, what do you cast it on?
Oh, like as much as he wants to, he probably not the time for experimental things. He casts it on his regular core stuff.
Okay.
Like as much as it would be fun, he wants to do that in a safe environment, not where his life's in danger. And then he's going to main action Hunter's Mark, the nearest one.
Okay.
That's my turn.
Okay. Janlos.
The one that's closest to Janlos, I'll probably I'm gonna run up to it and swing my mace at it.
Okay.
I got a +4 to hit, so 16. A dirty 20.
That hit.
Okay, and that's 1d6 plus 1. Oh, the good old 3 points of damage.
Okay. 3 points of damage. Giles.
All right. So, is there any shadowy creatures that going for him?
Yes, there is actually one headed for each of you.
Wonderful. So he's gonna just wield SOS. Well, first he's gonna do second. He's gonna give himself second wind so he can heal up just a bit before he takes the next swing.
That's probably a good idea.
So give me a moment to hit. Give me a little healy. All right, getting 14 points back.
Okay.
Hey,
And now with SOS in hand, he'll go for a swing.
Okay.
swing, bada bada.
All right. First swing, 21.
21 hits.
All right. Incoming damage. That'll be 12.
12 points. Yeah, you carve a huge rent in this thing. And to kind of give you an idea what it looks like, it is taking on the form of almost humanoid, but improperly put together. Like some parts are bigger, longer. It is, you would never call this thing a living creature, but at the same time, it, when you cut into it, it is shadow stuff. There's no flesh and bone, but it is solid enough to hurt you.
All right. Second swing. All right. Finally, I got a natural 19, so I crit.
Nice.
Don't even roll damage. Tell me how you kill this thing.
I've been wanting to have a natural 19 for so long.
Oh, you're champion fighter.
Yes. Yeah, so I just imagine he just goes for the first swing, and then it's like, all right, there's a chance for redemption. Then he goes for the golf swing. So like a golf swing's got to work at some point.
Yeah. So the first one, you severely wound it. It's almost like spinning around.
Yeah.
Because this is a sword and not a blunt object, you do send it up into the air, but as it sort of like divides in half and crumbles back into the black sand that never quite hits the ground. But now that's one down.
Yes.
Now for the ones that were after everyone else. Vivi, you are going to get attacked. It's going to be a 19 to hit you.
That will hit. I have not got much armor.
Okay, let me get the right die here. And you are going to take 6 points of slashing damage. Janlos, you are only going to get hit with a 6.
That
So,
doesn't hit.
Yeah, that one scratches off of your shell. Vivi, it is your turn.
Main action, I'm going to conk the thing with my shillelagh.
Okay.
Okay. Dirty 20.
30-20 hits.
Okay. So that's 22 damage total.
22 damage. How do you destroy this thing?
Vivi takes the blunt, the force of the damage,
Mhm.
grunts, spins his shield around, and just basically smashes it straight into his temple.
Yes.
And
The
basically his
head just sort of, it's like you hit a sand sculpture as it crumbles away, and then the rest of the body follows.
Bonus action. I'm going to how far away is the two of them?
You're all within 30 feet, I imagine.
Bonus action. I'm going to help. I'm going to do the help action.
Okay. Janlos.
I'm just gonna swing away.
Okay, swing
With-
away.
With advantage.
Swing with advantage.
I got a dirty 20.
That hit.
It's gonna be the good old D6. That's gonna be how much did I get? 2 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah,
Why
this
could
thing
the-
is pissed at you. Gilith.
All right, who needs assistance?
There's just one left, and it's on Janlos.
All right, I'll point to it and I'll hunter's mark it.
Okay. Is that your full action?
That was my bonus action.
Okay.
And it's followed by go.
Okay. Run for it.
You see Hunter's Mark,
Yep.
fellow ranger.
Oh, the ways of the Shadowfell can give you gifts sometimes through feats. Anyway, so here we
Oh.
go. All right, so that will be a 18 on that swing.
Oh, should have touched.
All right, so there's an 18 hit. Andy.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. I was trying to read something. It does hit.
All right, no worries. So first we can do the regular slashing.
Okay.
All right, that's 7, and the additional hunter's mark 4, so 11 total.
Yeah. You leave a huge rend in this thing once again. It is it's almost dead. So go ahead and roll your next attack.
All right, second swing. 22.
22. It is just destroyed.
Yeah.
Joseph, you've been spending the past little bit trying to set up something.
Yeah. So what Joseph has done is he's taken the pitons out of his pack and he's put them into the earth close to where the cogs are on the tower.
I just want to say that I imagine all of this is happening while your friends are fighting for their lives. You're just over here trying science experiments.
That makes
Okay.
sense.
Please continue.
And then I take the wire, I take a spool of wire out of my thieves' tools and I wrap it around the pitons and then wrap that wire around myself, about my waist and wrists. And then I come back up to the tower to strike it again,
Okay.
hoping that what will happen is the electrical current will ground out along the wire into the pitons.
Okay. That's a good theory. So
You've got
So-
this.
you're going to take 7
Yeah.
points of damage as you strike it again.
Is it electrical damage though?
No, this is almost, I guess if you had to describe it as something, it would be necrotic, as it is taking your life every time you try to strike it. It's not really easy to give this an exact school of magic, but it is either pure energy lashing out at you, but I think it's also pulling something away every time you strike it. So we're going with necrotic.
So it's a combination of necromancy and evocation.
I don't really know enough to try to answer that question. Like,
Fair enough.
I know what it's doing, but I don't know how to describe that in the limited terms of, schools here.
Joseph, have you tried to swallow this stone?
I can't really say that I'm one that swallows. So
Is also like 3 feet tall. So
yeah.
you could unhinge your jaw.
Yeah, he's got this. Joseph's a professional. Give it to Ashley. Let her swallow it.
Ashley is inanimate right now.
Yeah.
Well,
Ashley isn't really able to help with this right now. I mean, the only other thing that I can think of is where the hell is the grappling hook attached to on this tower as well then? Because it's just like, you have a giant moving copper building. Because the cogs inside of it are that's going
It's
to
more
generate
grass, but that's how it looks. I didn't say that's what it was made of.
but metals moving tend to create electrical currents as well. So I'm just like, one part of me is just going, this is
You're
going
trying to
cause an
explain through science magic right now. Get out of your meta head. You are not a mage in this world. And you are also not a tinkerer. So I don't think Joseph understands electricity that well.
No, but he does understand rapidly moving objects creating a static charge that then shocks the shit out of him when he tries to touch it to steal it.
what if we just knock a tree over and see if it knocks down the thing, you know?
What are you doing over there, Joseph?
Being ineffectual like always.
Keep at it.
That's the thing that I'm good at. I'm gonna, my hop along self is going to try and climb the rope once again.
You use your other leg. See if that works.
I'll let you try to climb it, but this time it's going to be a disadvantage.
Janos is probably gonna see him try to climb and then stop him from doing that. It's like you didn't learn your lesson.
You were like about 60 feet away fighting, so you'd have to run at full speed, and even then he'd still have a shot at making it.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna let it happen.
I've got a 9.
Okay, you do not make it up the rope. Your missing foot is throwing you off.
I'm going to inspect the corpses.
There's nothing left. They dissolved.
Oh. You see, Xavier is worried, and you see his accent almost shift. I can't do the accent, and so I'm terrible at accents. But it's actually for those who know the area well, it almost sounds Barovian.
Do we know the area very well?
Like,
I will say that as you're standing there, the field of natural to preternatural is still growing.
Yeah.
Not as fast as it was, but it is steady.
What do we do? Right, we hit the thing, that didn't work. We tried to climb the thing, that didn't work. We tried to knock the gem out, that didn't work. Like, if we had a bard, I'd say we tried to seduce it, but that's not going to probably not work either.
Yeah, we are men of class here. So we're all men.
Like,
I don't want to destroy this thing. I just want to stop it, just for right now. But it seems like as if it's just going and going and going, because it's a perpetual sort of motion machine. Once you got it going, it continues going until it's fulfilled its purpose.
Look,
Yeah, this is me out of character, so just
Vivi sighs, and he actually comes closer. He gets his better judgment, but since he wants to see if he can figure out what the hell is there any way to stop it.
Sure. Give me an intelligence check.
Straight up intelligence.
Yeah, straight up intelligence. I can't think of anything that really. This is an engineering check, basically.
Okay. Since I'm close by, I'm assuming I can't use guidance.
No.
15.
15. It's a big stable object. I mean, short of using a siege weapon, you don't really have any ideas.
Jyleth, do we have a siege weapon?
Maybe I've not done. I will admit, I've not done a full check of our inventory.
I think that from what I can go, I think that's the only thing that's going to stop this thing. Of course, my knowledge on this area is limited.
Can I use perception to try and find a flaw to it?
There are no flaws. This thing is a masterwork of
right.
architecture.
Time to go. Like, I'm not sure how long. I know it's a long road, but I think we have to go back and speak to the wizard to see what the hell's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You
that
guys
sounds
go
like a
do
good
that.
idea.
I'll just stay right here. I mean, somebody's got to pay by point up to the Draco Lich.
Oh, that
thing.
thing's gone long time ago. It fled because this thing was devouring it.
Nom 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 nom.
My buddy left me again. No.
Everyone seems to be leaving you, Janlif.
That's okay. I'm gonna stay by Joseph.
And
'cause
I'm
he
just gonna
trusts me.
say for the record, you never saw Bones. So
Like I said, it was Draco Lich looking. So
okay.
to Joseph, it was like a giant
Okay.
shadow dragon. Draco
I
Lich.
just wanted to be clear because
Jyleth, I think
Yes.
if these two are sticking here, I think we should go back. This is a major splitting the party moment, but I think it's what we need to do.
I agree.
You be the brains, I be the brawn. Wait, no, you be the brawn, I be the brains. Go.
Can I be both?
Sure, why not?
Yay! According to Jarlath's size, he was like the man of the operation here. It was main poker.
I'll be assistant brain.
Yeah. And I'll look at Vivi and I'll go and tell our dear seneschal what you unleash from his lab, because that might be some form of evil much greater than Manlos is
I'll get right on that.
Before we close out for the night, I just want to be sure, Joseph, you're going while maimed, you're going to stay here alone while they hike.
No,
3 days back.
I'm staying with them. I'm gonna
Okay.
stay with them. Yeah.
I just want to make sure that before we get into the season finale in 2 weeks, because we're going to wrap up here. So I just wanted to be clear.
Janlos is staying with
Okay.
Joseph. Yes.
Janlos and Joseph are staying in the tower or next to the tower. Vivi and Jyleth are going to hike back to Thieveston. Okay. Does anybody want to do anything before we wrap up for the night? Just be absolutely sure I know what everybody's doing.
Soil my pants.
You don't need to describe that one to me. Just straight up. We're good on that.
I'm going to set up a fire because it's winter. Properly winter inside of this area.
Yeah, more fall, but yeah, it's getting chilly.
Yeah, I'm going to set up a fire, set up a camp, and I'm going to start whittling myself a peg leg.
Okay.
I will assist in all that.
Okay. King Jyleth. Are you just headed home?
Yep, it's just where it's like we are just gonna lick our wounds and regroup and get
Okay.
back.
I just want to make sure I had all that in mind. So when we come back in 2 weeks for the season finale of Trick Roll, I wanted to thank everybody who is joining us, in both players and in chat. Let's go around. We're going to start with Shivlock. Who are you? And are you anywhere?
I'm Shivlock. You can find me anywhere as Shivlock and pretty much everywhere. I'm here and there. Yeah, thank you. Yep, that's it. Good. Moving along.
Crumpler.
Hello, everyone. I am Jesse Crump, also known as Crump64. You can find me in all forms of the interwebs under that handle, unlike on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, as such. You usually find me on the way just posting nonsense on my Twitter, and when I when we are able, we do our live D&D session with my crew, known as the Lovely Lady Grumps. Is an all-female cast, as we are currently playing through Spelljammer, converted to a 5th edition. So I hope to see you there.
And Kyle.
Yeah, I'm Kyle. You can catch me on Twitch at FlintEwood756. You can also catch me on YouTube under the same name and on Twitter as well. And you can catch me doing Vampire the Requiem with Andy and Arshes starting up the week after 2 weeks after next week because I'm unfortunately have to do a night shift. And you can also catch me on Mondays with with another player, Nick, going over each and every single RPG system out there to existence in our podcast called Beyond the Spine.
And Arshis.
I am Ashes. You can find me here now full time, as long as I don't get booted by Andy.
Mhm.
You can also find me every other Sunday causing Kyle headaches with my character Alice Trust. You can also find me on Twitter at Treff, and now with getting out of the way, you can find me on Twitter at Dead Brain Cell Productions.
And I am, of course, Andy. You're on my channel. You know how to find me. I'm Mort Films all over the internet. Thank you so much again to everybody who is just bringing forth this weirdness. And I am very much looking forward to not only our season finale, but what we're going to be bringing, because next season will be based on whatever happens next in 2 weeks. We will see you then. Farewell, all.